Yeah, super. Okay, if I can hear myself fine, then it's fine, right?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to the Stronger Together podcast, brought to you by San Strength and Conditioning. I'm your coach, Kenny Marquardt, and I'm here with another one of your wonderful coaches, Jennie Cooper, who is just bubbling with excitement. As we open this, we want you to take your own little bets and see how many F-bombs are dropped in this. Yeah, but we're not gonna. We just want them to wait. Now's the time to bet the over under.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm gonna try not to swear at all. I really, really am.
Actually, it's been pretty good. When we first put this out, I made it as explicit because I just don't know. This could be interesting. So we might as well set everyone's expectations for vulgarity.
I don't think I swear during coaching anymore, or if I do,
it's color. I think it's such a colorful way to you got to use it right. It's a tool. I think it can't be all the time.
Yeah.
But as a colorful part of language, I think it's a good little addition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna quit swearing. I was like, fuck no, that's fun.
The other day I was talking about shoulders and calling this DB shoulders.
Totally.
People looked at me like, okay.
All right. I know exactly who and what you're talking about. That makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So I remember the day you walked in the gym, and I think right away I was like, we're gonna be pals. Either that or we're gonna fight to the death. But we're gonna probably be pals.
Maybe both.
Cool tattoos. I think we actually had a conversation after your first class, which involved some swearing and some colorful ideas and thoughts. And I was like, oh yeah, she's in. And I think you had baited me with saying something like, oh, I've done this before, but not. And then we got into the workout, and you were hammering out pull-ups, doing butterfly. Not only you're doing butterfly, but you were keeping pull-ups. And I looked at you, I was like, what the hell? What do you mean?
Well, I was scared.
Yeah, sure. Totally.
I don't think you understood why I was scared.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's just a workout. You'll be fine. I'm like, I almost just swore. I'm like, no, I'm scared because I'm not sure I want to do this again.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a big part of my life for a long time, and then it wasn't. I walked away from it, and I was like, I'm never doing a freaking double under again. And then I walked back in the doors, and I'm like, am I really going to do this?
Yeah.
And you saw that trepidation, and yeah.
Yeah, I get that, totally. I'm like that with jiu-jitsu, where it's kind of all or nothing, and I have decided to hang that up, and I don't see me ever going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great part of my life, but it just doesn't have a place for it anymore. And I tried to go back, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do the same things again. So it just was hard.
Never though.
Yeah, sure, totally. But still, there's just that little bit. I know exactly. I think what you're saying. So, where was your? I mean, I know the story, but let's talk about your original foray into this competitive fitness thing.
Chris and Andrew Smith Trident CrossFit in Alexandria, Virginia. 2012, I had just left the military and needed something. Walked in there, started working out, loved it. Talked to Chris a little bit. He's a former Navy SEAL, and I credit him with pretty much changing my life for the better. I quit my job, my suit job in DC, real job, and I went back to school for a master's in exercise science, being like, I'm doing this. I'm jumping into this fitness world because I love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was pretty much it. They didn't want to make me a coach right off the bat. They were like, this one's a little off, a little rough around the edges. I heard this not from them. I heard this from another coach there. They were like, yeah, there was some serious hesitation about you because, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, just the swearing.
I don't know. I'm like, am I that abrasive? And apparently this is the softer, kinder, gentler version. I've mellowed out. But yeah, it took some time to convince them to let me actually put on a red shirt and coach class.
It's funny.
Yeah.
And now look at you. back in the fray.
Freaking troublemaker.
I love it.
Troublemaker here now too. So thanks.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. You touched on a couple things that actually I'd like to dig into because I don't know a lot of this. I think part of that is very humble, which is like one of the things I love about you. Like, well, you are. I mean, from my perspective, I think you're. I don't think you tout all the things that you've done and the things you've accomplished and the road that you've taken to get to where present day we are. But like military career, suit and tie job, amazing educational background. Like that's not normal. Like that's pretty abnormal.
Everyone has stuff. You live 45 years.
You're gonna get a twitch. You're gonna develop a freaking twitch. You're gonna need to let them out.
Over 45 years. Squish them down. We all get stories over time, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But that's why I really enjoy doing this, is having people on, just like hearing that stuff, because I think people appreciate everybody on the surface level for that personality they bring into the gym, but there's so much that has contributed to that. So
yeah,
like your military career involved flying helicopters, if I'm not mistaken. Can you a little bit?
Marine Corps for 9 years, being a casualty evacuation pilot in Iraq. Yeah.
During a pretty heavy time.
Yeah. That was fun and interesting. It was pretty vicious. And it's probably one reason I was a little bit of a nutcase as I got out. A special skill of like turning off all emotion and just, making stuff happen.
Yeah.
Good with dealing with crises. And I don't know if you noticed this, I don't like to look you in the eye, I want to look over there. It just walls all around. So yeah, it's taken some time to get over the military thing. After flying helicopters, I finished up at Parris Island, having a team of drill instructors working for me, and I want to credit them with my coaching style. Being a drill instructor, it's a special skill that these kids have. Okay. Just running around. They could just not repeat themselves and go at the mouth for hours at these recruits. And it would be hard not to laugh. And you could see them like practicing, yelling at a tree. Yell at this tree for an hour and don't repeat yourself. And they can do it. So you see me pacing around the gym, just shouting random stuff that's maybe relevant, maybe not. Just being involved, it's my version of being a drill instructor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Performative. So like somewhat performative.
Yeah.
Yeah. A comedy, but you're out there. You're unscripted. Let's just run with this thing and see what happens.
It's why the third class, when we have the 3-hour block, that third class, I am exhausted.
Yeah.
Such autopilot because you've just been going the whole time.
Yeah.
That's them.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, that's I'm so disconnected from it, but I've observed some of that stuff, and I've watched those drill instructors. I'm like, man, I wish I could just run at the mouth for that amount of time, and not just go down some wacky rabbit trail and like get lost or sound stupid or start giggling. I don't know. I don't know if I have the skills for it. I guess you refine that over time. They pull the
it's not refined.
No, fair.
It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah. So, military. Where were you? What's your original background? Like, are you from San Diego?
No, I grew up in Connecticut. Went to college, and I went to MIT.
Just as an aside.
Well, this stuff's gonna come out.
I know, that's why I wanted to come. Kind of like I
went to MIT, and then I joined the Marine Corps, flew helicopters, got out. Got a fancy schmancy suit job, quit that, got a master's in exercise science, finished that, did not get hired by Nike, and got angry. So I went back to get a PhD at the University of Oregon because I was close to where Nike was. So I flipped them off and say, I'm better than you anyway, got a PhD in human physiology, and then took care of my dad, and now I'm here.
That's
it.
That was it. Yeah, we're over.
Grew up in Connecticut, so rich ass town. Grew up sailing and skiing and stuff. And after my mom died like 7.5, 8 years ago, and my sister and my dad and I just went full on redneck.
Nice.
Just no more of this little Connecticut town. We went out to Oregon. They followed me to Oregon. I was in Eugene. They went to Bend. They were like, we can do Oregon better. And all of a sudden, it's just Bud Lights and trucker hats and bliss.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Sandpoint was a nice transition from that.
Yeah.
And that's my tangent. You ask a simple question and you get all
That's
of
what
that.
that's what these are. That's exactly the tangents are the exciting parts. This is the hard lefts, just in the nowhere. Yeah, it's great. What did you study at MIT?
Mechanical engineering.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Sorry, I'm not.
I didn't do very well. I was a solid C plus B minus student.
Yeah, but it's also at MIT. Like to just even walk in the damn, being in the arena.
I was one of 2 blonde girls there, so I think I was a diversity quota. I was a token.
Right. I'm sure.
Not
I'm
Asian,
sure that was it. Yeah.
Not Asian, not Indian.
We want one of the white girls
Yeah.
to balance this out a little bit.
Yep.
That's awesome. So then, did you enlist right after?
The military paid for college.
Got it.
Got commissioned as an officer.
Cool. Nice.
Yep.
And then you picked flying?
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to be a combat engineer. They say they build bridges, but they mostly just blow stuff up.
Yeah.
I thought that would be super fun, but I couldn't be guaranteed that job, but I could be guaranteed a flight contract. So I was just like, yeah, I suppose I could fly for a while. Did that.
I love that. Sorry, it's just the remarkable, these are, I don't know, they're just really significant things that I think that.
It's my normal.
Yeah, no, right.
And your normal blow my brain.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never, I almost said never killed an animal. Not true. I've gotten many of flies. So, yeah.
Yeah, right. But I think, again, that stuff's, it's just cool. I think that you make it sound whatever, kind of diminish it a little bit, but I think it's the same. You're right. That's a good comparison, I guess. That people can't see, but there's a pile of dead stuff around my office in here.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's in the, I would probably say the same thing. Shut that out.
Yeah. Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah. So, what's the aviation process? Do you start flying plane? Do you go through all flight school?
Yep.
I'm probably screwing up the terms.
No, you're good. You start in little planes, and it's probably changed since I went through. I graduated from college in 2002 and was flight school for the next 2 years. So you start in a little plane because planes are a heck of a lot easier to fly than helicopters.
Uh-huh.
So those jet pilots who think that they're all that,
Not so much.
Not so much. And then they put us in little helicopters that are kind of like news helicopters, and from there go different ways. And I ended up in a big old troop transport thing in San Diego.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a long time ago, ex-girlfriend, which Jen probably doesn't know I ever date anybody else. She thinks it's, he was he's a helicopter pilot at Long Beach, whatever it was, Long Beach PD. Anyways, he trained up for that, and as I was a part of that, his life as he was training up, and he was like, dude, this is ridiculous. They give him simulators, and they all just wreck simulators over and over and over and over and over.
Yep.
Yeah. So, pretty complicated.
Yeah.
Pretty hard. Yeah. And then flying in combat situations, I'm sure, adds a little bit of.
It adds something.
Yeah.
But fewer regulations, it's kind of fun. It was a nice little Wild Wild West situation out there.
Yeah.
Much fewer rules and flying low and fast so that you don't get shot. And it was great in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I never want to do it again, but no regrets that I did it.
Yeah. Do you like that adrenaline, go fast?
Sometimes.
Don't think. Yeah.
Afterward, my main thing was, okay, I just want a job where nobody's trying to kill me and I don't need to know CPR. I didn't want to be responsible for anybody's life anymore.
Yeah.
So the suit job was great.
Yeah.
For a year until I wanted to, until it wasn't great.
Yeah. What was the speech of?
I worked for a consulting firm called Booz Allen Hamilton. Government contract type stuff, not CIA.
I have to redact most
that
of
would be so cool. Hey CIA, I have no parents and no ties, so just let me know if you want. Worked at Coast Guard headquarters, just doing some systems engineering bull stuff.
Wow, you're real. I swear, you're gonna have to let them fly. Or you're
You're just gonna explode.
yeah, more steam's gonna come out your ears.
Still training. It's all good.
Yeah. So after that, went back to school.
Yep. George Washington University, master's in exercise science, and super pissed at Nike. I was like, how could you? I'm clearly amazing. How could you not hire me? But that was paid for by the GI Bill, and then after that, I was like, hey, I have more GI Bill. How about I just keep using that? So got all the way through the PhD on government's dime, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the exercise physiology? Like, what was that degree? What was the process like? I'm sure it's a lot. I mean, I bet it would be part cool, part mindlessly boring.
Yeah, part and part.
Yeah.
There were fantastic classes. I took a toxicology class that was fulfilling a requirement, but it ended up being absolutely amazing. Talked a lot about the stochastic nature of cancer. And you know my mind to a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
But most of it was just, it was a money churn for them. It was, okay, everybody comes in here and you pay your tuition. Okay, and 2 years later, here's your degree.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because, what do you mean? Like, yeah, sorry, elaborate.
I have thoughts about grad school.
Dun,
dun, dun. That a lot of it's kind of a racket.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard. I'm used to school being hard, and this was just show up and, God, this sounds horrible. Just show up and just do the work and just finish it up and move on. Here's your piece of paper. Now go get a job with it. I didn't really learn much there, and it didn't seem like the people teaching there cared that we weren't really learning things. It was pass the test and get out of my class.
Got it. What kind of jobs are people looking for out of that? You know what I mean? Like, what's the outcome supposed to be?
This program had a focus on strength and conditioning, so a lot of people wanted to be coaches of some sort. Like, one guy wanted to work for the Wounded Warrior program, and he got that, which was cool. A lot of people want to work for sports teams.
Yeah. Was that, I mean, I don't feel like PhD is a requirement for a lot of that. Do you feel like, I have some perspectives as well on the continuing ed. I think sometimes people just go to school because they don't know what else to do. And They don't put the work in practically to like work their way up.
That was pretty much my PhD program. This first one was a master's program, and that was plenty. Getting the PhD was pretty much, I didn't know what else I wanted to do with my life, which has been pretty much a theme. Like, what do I do now? That looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go do that.
Yeah.
And with a PhD, I haven't used that at all. I don't think I'm ever going to, because it would be go back to school.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to use it for.
You mean for education, like for teaching?
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
What else do you do with a PhD in physiology? I'm a doctor, but don't hand me a scalpel.
Dang it. That was part 2 of this. I'm going to do the old cut open an animal and just put it back together.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I do feel like that's it's an unfortunate thing. This is way in the weeds. But I think there's a little bit of education racket where it's like, hey, come do it. Go get in all this debt and keep doing the thing.
Yeah.
And then you end up on the other side with nothing that you're right in the back of the line with everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
I did appreciate with the PhD program, I didn't appreciate at the time, of course, type 2 fun type stuff, the research aspect.
Yeah.
My dissertation was this 3-part thing. I was in a shoulder lab. So the effects of acute and chronic pain on shoulder muscle activity. So
I love
you
it.
didn't know this stuff either, did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't. But I'm in. Like,
so I took healthy people, including my little sister, and squirted hypertonic saline into their supraspinatus muscles to make it hurt, to make it burn, like that serious muscle burn. And I would test what the shoulder muscles were doing before the pain, during the pain, and then the pain would be gone 2 minutes later, but I would wait 5 minutes and see what the muscles were doing after the pain. And I also took people with chronic subacromial impingement syndrome is what we were calling it at the time. Just, I lift my arm, it hurts.
Yeah.
Give them the standard injection to make the pain go away and test before and after the removal of chronic pain. And just seeing how muscle activity changed. And through all that, like through the research process, I learned to do research. Kind of like going to an engineering school. I don't remember any of the engineering, but I remember how to apply processes.
Yeah.
So going through the research, I'm like, okay, I know how to do a lit review. I know how to put in like this application for an IRB, an institutional review board. I know how to read scientific papers and poke holes and be like, well, that experiment was clearly BS because of this, or this was a weakness, or this is actually a good point. So that was something that I got out of it. And I have a whole bunch of unpublished research right now because publishing research is another freaking racket. Like this.
Yeah, sure.
The second time they return it and they're like, oh, make these changes for me. I'm like, those are stupid changes.
Yeah.
And I just got tired of changing things. So I'm like, boss, I'm done. He's like, really? And he doesn't know it well enough to finish it for me. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Got unpublished stuff sitting there.
That's great. Not really, I guess. I mean, depending on how you look at it, I like your perspective. I like your attitude. Just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I just don't really care.
What's the point?
Yeah. Long story short, muscles that hurt don't like to move.
That's what I was hoping you'd clarify, or not clarify, but elaborate a little bit on that. Yeah.
And even after the pain goes away, that muscle that was hurt still doesn't want to move. Takes some training to get it to act normally again.
Interesting. So the acute pain will cause a long-term
at least, at least longer than the pain lasted.
Interesting.
And the pain peaked at 30 seconds, was done at 2 minutes, and 5 minutes later, there were still results. So I didn't check it 2 hours later.
Okay.
Just right then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just what's your theory on that? I mean, is that a protective thing? Like if it's pain, just don't. The body's going to work around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then looking at our people who come back from whatever injuries, they go to their PT and they learn to activate those little muscles again that don't activate normally anymore. Maladaptation to a condition that no longer is relevant.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah, for sure. The application of that, again, is super. There's so many roads to go down, I think, with that, where there's the self-protective stuff of changing movement patterns and then compensation. And like I can just think about people that experience that on a daily basis and then changing something, whether subconsciously.
Yeah.
And that's how the whole thing's messed up.
Yep.
Did you guys get into that, like the long-term rehabilitation of that? Or?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there, the research is there, and yeah, you gotta relearn muscle patterns. Oh, we know that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like everything else. Oh, metaphor for life. I've been hurt before.
Sorry, yeah.
There's a reason I am the way I am.
I'm gonna dig into this pain. It's fine.
It's fine. Totally fine. Burn.
That's great. I think do you feel like a lifelong learner, like in that way? Like that's just like to learn?
Yes, I absolutely love to learn. I got a lifetime subscription to Babbel just so that I could jump into Russian.
Nice.
Because I love the way it sounds.
How's that going?
It's going great.
Is it really?
Yeah, my brother's freaking out about it because he's like, "Why Russian? Russia is evil." I'm like, the language just sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Bro, it's not that big a deal. It's like, ah!
CIA, if you're listening, you're really buttering up your resume minute by minute here.
Yeah. I got no ties, but to your gym.
That's why I love that you're here. This is great.
Yeah.
I can't wait till you start coaching Russian.
So bad.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's so endearing to me. Like, as far as like the life, like, I love to learn.
Yeah.
Even if it's useless. Like, I'm trying to learn my Spanish, and the application of that for me is so minuscule, and it's just fun to learn. Like, I just enjoy having conversations with my tutors who are probably shaking their heads at like how poorly I perform the language, but it's just fun. Yeah, it's fun,
and I think it's good for us to do stuff that we absolutely suck at.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Embrace that beginner mindset, and anything that we put extra hours into that we're already good at, it's like diminishing returns. Yeah. So, okay, let's go into something totally new.
Yep.
And just ramp up.
Face that discomfort.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, speaking on the Spanish front, every single lesson of mine, I'm like, oh God, like, this is going to be a train wreck. I got to meet, because it's a different tutor every time. Mm-hmm. It's this program called Baseline. It's a different person. So every time I'm like, oh God, this is going to be such a shit show. Mm-hmm. Like, they're going to think I'm so stupid. So anyways, I get that total, like, full anxiety, push through it. And, you know, it's better now than it was. But I think that opens up so many doors of how bad could this be? Like, it's not, no one's going to make fun. No one has yet, at least in my face.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly the stuff that we preach in the gym.
Totally.
Like, somebody walks in the door and you're like, it's cool.
Yeah.
The more unfamiliar you are with the gym, the more you probably need it.
Yeah.
The athletes who come in, like, we don't need it.
Yeah. No, right.
We'd be fine.
Right.
We could go out there and climb trees and swim in rivers, and it's natural to us.
Yep.
But the people who really have to force themselves in there, that's me with the Russian. I am really freaking bad at that. So all the love in the world to the people who come in the gym and they're like, this is really uncomfortable for me.
Yep.
Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
Yeah. And I think it's important for us to do those things too, to be able to like respond to that in a way of like, look, I can't understand how this feels for you necessarily because I live in the damn gym and I have for 30 years.
Yeah.
But I understand the discomfort that you're going through in a different way. And I think that the unlock for that, like you said, the more that it is something they're hiding from, is the more of an unlock it's going to be when they realize, like, oh, cool. Like, this is awesome. Like, these people everyone's nice. Nobody cared. Nobody's making fun of me for the things I was super worried about. Like, this is all awesome.
Yeah.
And I found that do you find that true with, like, your other experiences? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had, are you asking outside the gym right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, the rooms that have been really uncomfortable for me to walk in, either figuratively or specifically, the people on the other side of that door that I was terrified of are some of the nicest, most friendly, welcoming, encouraging people I've ever encountered.
Yeah.
And even Spanish for that matter. Like, they're always like the nicest. They think it's great.
They respect the crap out of the fact that you walked in that door and you are doing something that is hard for you.
Right.
And I had a girl last night who I didn't kill her.
She's dead. I had one.
She was doing 21, 15, 9 bodybuilders and jumping pull-ups. And she was going into the 15 bodybuilders and forgot what she was doing completely. And she just like sprawled on the floor and gave me this look of like, what is happening? And she goes, I forgot. I'm like, okay, let's just keep. I'm laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
And it went great.
Right.
I mean, I think it helped to put her at ease, being like, we all just
totally.
We lose everything, and it's a totally safe place to be sprawled on the floor, being like, what now, coach?
Yeah. Yeah. Worst case scenario, like that's not worst case, but that's I bet that's something that if you were told, like, hey, you're going to come in and forget what you're doing in front of this person you probably aren't a little intimidated by because they know what they're, this is their home.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, this is cool. I'm laughing with you. Like, this is hilarious. Like, who cares? Like, this is fun.
After I kicked her out, after our session was over, I walked back to the front room and she was still shooting the strikeys with all the people there. I'm like, you could go home. She said, yeah, but I mean, everybody's just so supportive around here.
It's the best. Yeah, totally the best.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my brain is broken. I think I've been laughing at you not swearing. Now maybe you're transferring that to my brain. It's all clogged up with swear words I want to let free.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to be professional.
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to learn to be more professional a little bit.
Oh, you know what it was? This is actually a hilarious tangent I'm going to bring back up even though I was passing by. It was how many people peed their pants in India. Like women especially. Like people that just like complete, like that's just like, it's not a little, it's just a full blown, full on pee your pants.
Yeah.
And nobody cares. It's more endearing, especially for the female group. We're like, oh yeah, like that's no big deal. Like who cares? Like grab a sweatshirt around yourself or don't. It's not a big deal. Like we're all good.
It's not a big deal at all. I've said for years one of my favorite things about the gym in a CrossFit style gym anyway is that people just expose their soul.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yesterday I had people sprinting on that last assault bike. And you have people sprint on an assault bike and then be done. Yeah. Let them pour absolutely everything out, and it's just bodies everywhere. Yeah. And it's just so honest. Yes. It's so raw and pure, and there's nothing that you can fake about that. Yep. Yeah, sometimes people shave reps and they have crappy movement and everything, but there is some stuff where it's like it just is. Yeah. That is everything that you are. Yeah. I love it.
I do too. And the bonding through that is so...
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the bonding through doses of misery.
Yeah.
Going through hard things with other people and like seeing what you have and where you're at, knowing that you can do that and push yourself. And there's other people right next to you doing the same thing. And that's just, I don't know, it's just the best. It's great.
And I love doing that next to somebody who just walked in the door for the first time 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we're sprawled on the same floor, feeling the same thing.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter that she got this many and I got this many. It doesn't freaking matter at all. Right. Your all is your all.
Yeah, exactly. It's just magic. I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to go door to door. I'm just going to start knocking on doors and tell people about the good news about fitness. There's that guy in the short sleeve. The short sleeve dress shirt and the tie.
No, you gotta have a buddy. You gotta travel with Parris.
You and me. But I guess
we can bring K-Star's book with us.
Love it. Yeah. Have you heard the good news about fitness?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So bad.
No, it's great. I mean, again, I think that the world would be such a better place. I realize this is the hill I'm going to just die on forever. Like I just feel like fitness. If more people did this, the world would be a better place.
I love it. And the little blog posts that you write, I don't know if you call them blog posts, but your Facebook things, whatever. You can tell how much you love this stuff just by you think about it pretty much all the time, it seems like. And everything is a metaphor. And it's, yes, the gym makes the world better and the world translates into the gym. And oh my God, everything is sort of... totally meta.
Yeah. But it's true. I mean, you're right. And
you're talking to somebody who gave up a legit job to go work as a full-time trainer at Gold's.
Yeah.
Minimum wage.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
That's a tough go.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a reason I was hesitant to start going personal training here again. Yeah. Because I used to open that gym and close that gym with half-hour sessions, and I was like, not drinking water. Because you don't have time to pee. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's a
but I believe in this.
Yeah. You have to.
It's huge.
You have to. And it really has to resonate. It's not the most lucrative thing in the entire world. And you get your soul crushed a couple times by falling in love with the outcomes that you know you can get for people and having them leave and quit and do the thing. It's the hardest. I mean, it's not the hardest job.
It's super rewarding though when it works out.
Totally.
I mean, the class that I just left, seeing those kids. I say kids even when people are like 20 years older than me. Yeah, just seeing the people succeed, seeing the growth, and seeing the fire in their eyes is great.
Yeah, it is. It's
well worth it. We're making the world a better place.
I agree.
One
totally agree.
barbell athlete at a time.
But I think half the industry washes out every year. That's a stat I just recently heard. I believe it. I mean, I think there's probably some outliers in there that probably bring down the average. But I think for that reason, I think people get burned out on some of those things without having that true passion. So those of us, the scarred up warriors doing this thing for the long time, feel like we really have the appetite for more and knowledge. I've got my computer's open here. I've got like 3 tabs open of like different things I'm trying to all digest at one time so I can dispel them to the world. But it's the same thing. Like it's just half it's inapplicable, not applicable, but it's just fun to learn.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that you've joined this team in that way. It's just cool. So
thanks.
Yeah. What else we got? That was 36 minutes so far. I feel like we're gonna keep dating.
I feel like I'm in some alternate reality thing. Like, what is even coming out of my mouth? I'm still thoroughly wigged out.
Yeah. It's weird. You think, because you feel like I tend to imagine there's like thousands of people listening to this or whatever. And there's not.
No.
But
I think it's our gym, listening to our gym. But people love it.
They do. Yeah. And I've yet to do one. I mean, having started to do this podcast for Tubing where there will be thousands of listeners, like that one's made me nervous. I've gotten more comfortable, but I know what you mean. Like I know that the first one I did with Kaliba that we've talked about that I hated and I really hope never comes out. I was just nervous. Like half my discomfort with how it turned out was because I was just not able to fully relax and ask the questions and do the things I wanted to do. Yeah. But part of that was I was like, oh my God, like there's a microphone in front of me that this is permanent.
Well, you can just make this one go away too. This can be our dresser.
No way. You're it's great. I think that's part of the fun though, is like seeing the under a couple layers and again the transparency. So I'm gonna use your own words against you. The rawness of the like this is just kind of
I almost just flipped you off. So that would be like swearing.
I cannot wait. I want to follow you around the rest of the day. Wow, there's going to be a time when these have to fly out. Some poor person's going to like...
I'm going to go full on Tourette's and it's just going to be...
Yeah, they're going to go a little over the line to the stop sign when you're crossing the street and they're just going to get it and it's going to be great.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to expand my vocabulary.
No, it's colorful. Again, it's a...
Yeah, well...
It's you're obviously very intelligent, which we've so I think that's the difference. I think if it's like the swearing is a cover for a lack of other words because your vocabulary doesn't quite cover the lexicon and that's what all you use for your punctuation. Like I think that's different.
If it's properly and appropriately focusedly placed.
Yeah.
Yeah, focusedly. Totally intentional.
I've never been to a fitness seminar where the person on stage didn't swear. Like I've never been there.
Oh, so it's professional to swear now.
This is through the industry. So you have to do it to fit in.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about fitting in. That's been a big part of my life.
I can tell. I can tell. Has Nike reached out to you since have they been like, oh, we screwed up?
No. And I refuse to buy any Nike shoes.
Nice. That runs deep. All right. Boycott
I
Nike.
have these resentments deep in my soul.
It seems like it fuels you a little. Like there's some.
Oh yeah.
There's some. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, it's like revenge fitness type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm big on. Oh yeah, you think you're too good for me?
Like the revenge body, is that what you mean? Like to break up and like I'm gonna get super fit. Yeah, all right. I'm with you.
You know, whatever it takes to make positive changes in one's life.
Yeah. The chasing or having the pursuer that is unidentified is maybe you get someone chasing you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like being fueled by rage. Totally healthy.
I'm sure there's probably some things outside of my pay grade that we could probably. I have to suffer from the same thing. We talked about that a lot of times on this podcast, but yeah, I appreciate it though. It's good. What's your sale well like right now?
I don't know.
No.
I assume it's fine because I pay somebody to clean the bottom of it every month, and they haven't called recently and said that it's sinking. Not recent.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time I went down to pump it out, I scorched the crap out of my back just from going on a big old pump on the back of it. So I'm a little concerned about that. But
what's your future sailing career aspirations?
When I first got the boat, I said I was going to sail to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solo,
that's why it's in San Diego.
Yeah. Are you going to go solo or you got a crew?
Solo.
Nice.
Yeah. It's not a very big boat, and I'm not really a people person. It just seemed like a big little life adventure. But that was my reward for myself for finishing a PhD program.
Cool.
But then Dad got sick, and then it was like, okay, he's my full-time job. And now it seems silly to reward myself for finishing a program that I finished a few years ago. Burping now. So nervous. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the boat. I still want to sail in Hawaii, but it doesn't seem like the adult thing to do. But I don't know how much that matters.
Yeah.
So
I think there's plenty of time to be a regretful adult.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's the thing you don't want to do. Just look back and think you could have.
So just find a time when all the classes can be when Amanda's in town.
Yeah, exactly.
And just bug out.
We're good, totally. How long does it take? What's the duration of that expedition?
I have a very slow boat, and as of right now, the motor doesn't work in it. Don't tell the San Diego Warren Company.
Oh, is that prerequisite of their mortgage?
Yeah.
Fully functioning vessel.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to go, and legalities are. I'm not the greatest mooring tenant right now. Well, I'm pretty awesome though, so they get their money, and I'm no trouble.
Right.
So I need to get the motor fixed, and I need to do some other work on the boat to make it really, really seaworthy again. Because when I first got it, I got it in LA, and I sailed it down to San Diego, and I refused to use the motor for that part. Mm-hmm. So it took me 4 days. And it was ridiculous. And then once I got to San Diego, the rudder fell off.
Oh,
so not important. The boat has not been ready to go across the Pacific.
Yeah.
I did get a new rudder.
That's good. Good.
I had some guys make it for me. It's a very expensive project right now. So this stage in life, I'm just kind of sitting and gonna figure out this apartment that I just moved into, figure out what's happening with finances over the next couple of months, and breathe and relax and figure out the boat later.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is the duration of the you said 4 days from LA to San Diego?
Yeah, because my boat is very, very slow.
Okay, so that's the pace.
Maybe. I don't know how much the rudder was almost falling off for that, so how much that was holding it up.
Yeah.
But I want to say 2 or 3 weeks to get to Hawaii. And then it would be a question of whether I would sail then from Hawaii back, because if you're going to do that, you go north and then east. So you end up like Washington and then all the way down the coast, back down to San Diego where the boat lives. Or I just have a vacation home in San Diego that doesn't actually go anywhere.
Also cool.
Yeah. It's a pretty cheap vacation home.
Yeah. That's sweet. I know nothing about sailing. We had a Hobie cat that I nearly sunk. We got to go. We could, we got up on one, whatever. What's it called?
Pontoon?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We got that up in the air. Yeah, buddy of mine knows how to sail. So we got to do that. That's the extent of my sailing. So that's a very overwhelming prospect of sailing for 2 weeks, trying to hit what I would consider a pretty small target.
Sure, but technology is pretty solid now with GPS.
Boop. Yeah.
And my my dad did transatlantic races. So it was one of those things. He inspired me a lot to do some crazy stuff. So I feel like I owe it to him to do a trans-Pacific.
Yeah.
He's like, the Pacific is not the Atlantic. I'm like, no, it's better.
Yeah.
It's better. It's not nearly as stormy.
So
we're
going to Hawaii, not.
Yeah. Yeah. He went to Cork, Ireland.
Oh.
And we have these old pictures of him and his crew. Just, yeah, it's great.
That's
totally
cool.
inspiring. So, yeah, I want to do that for my dad. And I wasn't allowed to do it while he was alive. He was like, "You're going to freaking die."
Take this step.
Don't do it.
Can't stop me now.
Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I still want to do it, but
Yeah.
it's big.
Yeah.
And it's not the safest thing in the world to do.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like that stopped you before.
No, but I mean, I make some stupid decisions on my own. Most of the things that I've done that have been fairly sketchy have been supervised by people who actually know what they're doing. You're laughing like I'm kidding about this.
No, I'm with you.
How do you know?
I'm right there in the thick of a guy who's done a bunch of dumb stuff. Jen,
Oh, yeah?
if Jen listens to this, she's going to be laughing a lot about the same.
Yeah, it can be scary. And yeah, I feel like I'm missing a little fear thing in my head where I'm just like, if I die, I die.
Yeah.
And that can be a great tool, but it can be a little disturbing to my little sister.
Sure, totally. But I think there's a lot of like, I'm going to figure it out in there's some confidence and self-trust. And
yeah.
I think that's, again, not to get all like soapboxy, but I think that some people are just missing that piece to realize like, hey, you might be the only one you got. Like, you got to self-rescue sometimes.
Yeah. But what's that word from that book?
What? Was it
No,
fuck?
No. Now
Dang.
you're sure.
I know. That was twice. No, I'm gonna make up for you.
I want to say Kintsugi Musa.
Oh, Misogi. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a Misogi for me.
100%.
Which one was that? Was that the Comfort Crisis?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
So
That-
it would be hard. The 4 days from LA were very hard.
I bet.
And yeah, there would be all sorts of self-rescue like you're talking about. Things would go wrong.
Yep.
I might miss Hawaii.
Yep.
That would suck.
Australia?
I don't even know. Just keep going. You'll hit something at some
At some
point.
point or another. Yeah, but I think there's a lot. I think that there's so much fear for people about the what ifs that they shy away from so many things. I know we talked about it with fitness, but the other stuff is like, well, I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
so what?
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah, I love that. I'm trying to build that into Garrison. I was like, hey, man, like, whatever. Let's just go figure it out. Like, don't run out in the woods naked and just assume that like, you can build a fire and be fine for multiple days, maybe.
Hatchet.
Yeah.
He's got a hatchet.
But that'll be mine. I don't think you're supposed to talk about them after the fact. I think I can talk about it before, but I want to do that for
You don't need
days.
to follow his rules.
Yeah, fair enough. I want to do that for a couple of days, like just minimal stuff. Like just take like something to whatever, get in contact if I do get eaten by a bear.
Yeah.
Super minimal, like let's just go figure it out, see what happens.
Yep.
Be hungry, be uncomfortable.
I'm still watching Alone.
Yeah.
And I'm super inspired by that stuff. And I still have like 5 months of GI Bill left and Wilderness Survival School.
Nice.
Maybe.
Yes.
But it seems like there's a line between reckless and like a level of preparedness that you should have for some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But a little reckless and not quite prepared, I think, can be great.
Yeah. Totally. I think you got to prepare for some of the what ifs. Like, okay, here's what I got to food, shelter, water, like, just some implemented thought process around that.
And what do I know is going to happen?
Yeah.
I know there's going to be a storm.
Right.
I don't know that I'm going to be attacked by a bear while it's pouring and I haven't eaten in 3 days and I only have one shoe.
Yeah.
So you don't need to prepare for that.
Right.
But prepare for a storm.
No backup shoes. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Totally. Yep. Exactly. Again, I love that. Just, I think, and again, it's so freeing to say yes to things that are just like, well,
yeah,
I don't know. Cool.
Yeah.
I might be uncomfortable. Might die. I don't plan on it. I don't think that's part of the equation, but
Yeah.
you know, that's also okay.
Yep.
So, all right, that's probably a good place to wrap this up. Yeah.
It's okay if I die.
Make yourself uncomfortable, you know, experience some things. What's the worst that can happen? It'll open up so much cool stuff in your life.
Yeah.
And then you become the most interesting person in the world. You can tell these cool stories if you make it. If you don't, nobody just speak Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody will tell the story about you and stuff.
That's right. Awesome. Well, you survived.
And we didn't really talk about fitness.
We did.
We
This
did?
doesn't talk about, we don't talk about fitness on this. We talk
Okay,
about,
cool.
yeah. It's like all, like you said, the metaphors and surrounding.
Yeah.
We loop it back somehow or another.
It's all about the gym.
No way. It's the people in the gym.
Yeah.
You guys will make this place awesome. So,
Well, it's your baby, so thank you.
well, thanks for taking care of it. So it takes a village. Thanks, Jennie. You're awesome. Thanks for doing this.